Hey everyone, Joe Dana here with you from 12 News. I want to update you on a bill that we're following right now that has a lot of homeowners in rural western Arizona extremely upset. This is what many refer to as a right to farm bill. Some call it a right to harm bill. The ag industry says it's intended to help agriculture operators do their thing without worrying about nuisance lawsuits against them. But opponents of this bill argue that it takes away the right of the little guy to sue against a large corporation, such as what are known as CAFOs. These are concentrated animal feeding operations. At the center of discussions about this bill is Hickman's Family Farms, one of the nation's largest poultry, egg, and manure producers, and they have a massive facility in Tonopah, Arizona, among others. Since Hickman's began building these industrial hen houses there about 7 years ago, lawsuits persist from homeowners and business owners who were there first. They say, look, our quality of life has plummeted, and that the odor, the flies, the chicken dander released by this complex makes living in Tonopah just tough to stomach.
I live just over a mile from a concentrated animal feeding operation. The air outside my home at times is not breathable. It waters your eyes, makes your nose run, burns your respiratory system, and can make you feel sick to your stomach. I'm here today because I've not been able to enjoy my property.
A massive RV resort that was already there for more than a decade had to shut down last year because of the problems. Identical ag nuisance bills are sponsored by Senator Sine Kerr and on the House side, Representative Tim Dunn. They both represent the region where Tonopah is located. The bill as it stands would not allow neighbors to bring a lawsuit against an agricultural company if that neighbor lives more than a half-mile away or if 1 year has passed since the agricultural operation began doing business, even if that operation grows and changes. Like I said, supporters say this law is needed to prevent frivolous lawsuits. But the Arizona Trial Lawyers Association says the courts are already set up to throw out frivolous lawsuits. In fact, they testified last week that the 1 year limitation for bringing a lawsuit is, quote, the most egregious thing we've ever seen. Because they say, look, the state constitution guarantees Arizonans the right to sue anytime. Now, I interviewed Senator Kerr over the weekend. She tells me she is sensitive to the concerns of residents.
We continue to work on the bill, and we're working on some amendments to address some issues. We want to make sure when this bill is ready to go that it protects the public and then also provides those protections for those family farms and ranches that are abiding by the law.
Are you concerned that this law is unconstitutional as it's written right now, this bill?
No, the question's been raised, and every single one of our bills that gets presented and gets through committee, it goes through a rules process. And so our rules attorney looks at every bill. So once it gets to rules, if something comes up, then we address it. But currently, like I said, it's still a work in progress. My focus is, about our local food supply here in Arizona and making sure that we have food security, that we are able to provide the food and fiber we need for our people here in Arizona.
Someone like Dan Blackson, he's a precinct committeeman for the Republican Party. He's testified. Mr. Blackson says you can't enjoy your property. This is not frivolous. When you can't go outside to walk on your property, enjoy this beautiful landscape, it's not frivolous. Your response?
Again, the focus of this bill is very narrow to just deal with nuisance. If it's a true, if it's a health issue, if it's a safety issue, there is still avenue today. There are laws in place, that people can file a lawsuit and find remedy to that.
The argument's being made, though, that the courts are already set up to throw out frivolous lawsuits. Why create another barrier of regulation?
Because clearly, the current laws aren't effective enough, because we do know that there is at least one lawsuit, maybe some others that are out there. And so, again, it's incredibly important that we secure our food supply here in Arizona and continue to protect all of our producers across the state.
Senator Kerr also told me she's agreed to meet with the owner of that RV resort who was forced to shut down. Now, the dairy industry and the Arizona Farm Bureau do support this bill. The Farm Bureau said last week in the House, quote, "This is meant to codify the already common law doctrine that relates to an impacted party that moved after a facility is in operation." They say that this law is not intended to protect bad actors. So, on the House side, the agricultural nuisance bill is scheduled to be heard in the Rules Committee today, Monday. You can follow me on Facebook and Twitter, and continue to follow me on 12 News for ongoing developments. We'll be checking in to see if changes are made to this bill. Joe Dana, 12 News.